Have you ever felt like you don't belong? Like you're just faking it, waiting for someone to tell you that you're not enough? This is my story, and maybe it's yours too. It's that heavy, sinking feeling in your chest, isn't it? The sense that everyone around you has figured something out, some secret code for fitting in, while you're left wondering why you can't seem to crack it. You laugh when they laugh, you nod when they talk, but deep down you feel like an actor in someone else's play. And this feeling can show up anywhere, in a crowded room full of laughter, in a quiet moment when you're scrolling through social media, seeing snapshots of others people's life that seem so perfect, so seamless, or even in the middle of your own dreams and successes, where you should feel proud, but instead you feel like a fraud.
Yes, I am traveling again. I'm not traveling back home. I'm actually going to visit my dad in the UK. Technically, I am going back home in a weird sense. Anyways, and the reason why I'm actually bringing a big luggage is because I want to bring a lot of stuff from the UK. I need to bring some of that clothes to wash because my dad has a washing machine in the residency I'm living in. They have two washing machines for like the whole building and we're like at least 20, and after that I have to do the voiceover of one of the videos that you've probably already seen. Actually, autumn right now here in Germany is quite nice. It's a bit cold in the mornings, otherwise in the afternoons quite pleasant. Oh, I can't wait to see my parents and get to celebrate my birthday. Anyways, I talk way too much.
This year is my final year of university in Berlin, and I'm super proud of how far I've come. But even after 3 years of traveling, meeting new people, living in new places, I still find myself wrestling with the same question: where do I truly belong? Don't get me wrong, I've met incredible people from all around the world, all of them having such amazing and unique stories. But I actually don't have a large group of friends. And you know what? At the beginning, it was quite hard to accept that I won't. But now I'm okay with it. Because through all of this, I've come to understand something very important. We actually might not find our tribe in the places we expect. For Berlin, I chose to live in an apartment with two other people that didn't go to my university. And I was scared before coming, nervous to meet them and hope that we could co-live together. And to be honest, I couldn't be more grateful for both of them. They are truly incredible people and actually amazing friends already. And the most funny thing is that they love my mom as well. And speaking about family, for me, they are and have always been my foundation. My mom is my best friend, and I'm not afraid of saying it. She is the person I can always talk to about anything. And my dad is my role model. He is someone I look up to for his strength, his wisdom. He's honestly a superhero. His kindness and the love he has for others, always something that I carry with me wherever I go. And then, even though we're far apart, my brother and sister are always in my heart. And I know they're cheering me on in their own ways. And since I've moved abroad, we've actually become so much closer, which is a funny thing. They are the people that keep me grounded, even when I feel like a misfit. And it's taught me that while we may feel alone at times, we're never actually truly without someone rooting for us, without someone that's there supporting us. Sometimes we just have to start looking in the right places. Because more often than not, we aren't. We think that the path to belong lies hidden somewhere. But something I've actually started realizing is that the place where I've always belonged, the place where I can always come back to, is not out there, but has been so close to me the whole time. Growing up, I was the loudest and most outgoing kid in the room. I had this boundless energy, which I still do. This zest for life that I couldn't contain. Instead of being embraced, I was told to sit still and keep quiet.
It's time to have breakfast together for the first time here. Nice warming tea to start off the morning. This is your sign to go have some delicious breakfast. My dad went to quickly pick my mom from the airport. Yesterday her flight was cancelled because there was like some technical difficulties in the flight, and for security reasons she didn't travel. Ribs, I think, are in season because they're so good right now. Look at that fluffy bread. I love this.
My parents didn't know that I would spend most playgrounds alone, the whole class wishing to go home already. I was being bullied for being different, or not fitting into the little boxes that others expected me to fit into. I was not like the other kids, and this was confusing. And then it was painful to come to terms that I would never be like them. And as a child, I just thought, how could I start being myself if it just led to rejection? And for a child, this is confusing. And it has shaped me into trying to always do what others expect of me over my own needs. I truly don't want to disappoint anyone. And this is just my experience. But something that we all need to realize is that while our past does shape us, it doesn't necessarily have to mean that the person that we have to become is that. Since I started my journey studying abroad, I'm actually so glad to say that I've gained so much confidence and slowly starting to embrace more of myself. At university, I did think it was gonna be a bit different since I was starting fresh. I would at least find a group of people that I could connect with. But even here, I often feel like I'm on the outside looking in. I've seen how the others since the first year we started have found their groups without any effort, while I've kind of been floating around groups and struggling to connect with most people. It's as if the very things that make me unique are also the same things that set me apart in ways that others don't understand. Being a misfit is often a double-edged sword. On the one hand, it's isolating. You feel like you're navigating the world alone, misunderstood and unseen. While on the other hand, it's a source of unique strength. You might feel like a misfit, but that same feeling allows you to see the world differently, to approach problems with fresh perspectives, to innovate where others conform. The feeling of not belonging is amplified by imposter syndrome. It's that little voice in your head that says, you don't deserve this. You're not good enough. To be honest, that voice still has space in my head, but unlike 2 years ago, it has less strength. When I got accepted to a bunch of universities, there was a part of me that doubted whether I truly earned them, whether I was just being pranked. I told myself that perhaps they had made a mistake and they had confused my application with someone else's, because surely there was someone out there that deserved this more than me. While in the meantime, I was just pretending to be quote-unquote smart, or just someone else that fitted what they were looking for. But I mean, now I'm here, so if something did happen, it was meant to be, I guess. Because here's what I've learned. Imposter syndrome doesn't mean you're failing. It actually means you're growing. It means you're stepping into spaces that challenge you, that push you to thrive. If you're not feeling like an imposter, then you have to start questioning yourself. Those people who never feel like imposters, they're the ones who never leave their comfort zones. They prefer to be in a place where they know they are at the top, where they're always accepted, and where they are the best. So So something that I've started to do once I realized this was to do things that I felt uncomfortable doing. This summer I really got into baking. I failed many times and now I have fallen in love with it. It gives me such a peace of mind to experiment in the kitchen, try new flavors and try to make my own recipes. I might not always succeed, but I truly never fail because for me it just means I'm learning, and if one is learning, then the only way to continue is to improve and then perfect. I really needed this time with my family, even though it was only 1 week. It truly reminded me of the place where I know I'm always welcome. I might not have a large group of friends, but I have my family. My mom, who always listens to my worries and reminds me of my strength. My dad, who inspires me to keep pushing forward. And my siblings, who I didn't get to see in this trip, but who are always there supporting me. It's easy to feel alone when the world around you doesn't seem to reflect who you are. But if we take a moment to look beyond the surface, we'll often find that there's someone out there cheering for us, whether it's family, a close friend, or even someone we haven't met yet who sees us for who we truly are. And I actually love being that for some of you guys. This is why I created my YouTube channel. I want it to be a space for all people that feel like misfits, like they don't fit in, and that they think that they have to change. But I'm here to tell you that you don't. You can be yourself and find the people you belong with. It takes time, it takes patience, and for some of us it takes longer than we expect. But it's not an impossible task. You can find the people that accept your flaws and help you grow and thrive. You don't have to change yourself, and I'm always here to remind you that no matter what, there's someone out there cheering for you. I am cheering for you. This channel is the space for you to feel safe and truly be you. Everyone is welcome. We all are weird in some way. Feeling like we don't fit in is such a normal feeling, and it might be hard to come with terms that the first step is to start being ourselves. But to be honest guys, that is the hardest part, isn't it? It's so tempting to mold ourselves to fit in and to hide the parts of us that feel too different, too much, or too strange. But the harsh truth is, the only way to truly find where you belong is to let yourself be seen. You need to realize that when you're authentic, you attract people who accept you for who you truly are. They see past the insecurities, the doubts, the imperfections, and they're here to celebrate the things that make you unique. Those are the people we need to search for, the ones that lift us up, that encourage us to keep growing and thriving. While I did spend my birthday alone, I am so grateful I still got the chance to celebrate it some days after with my mom and my dad. It was honestly one of the best experiences of my life. The food there was incredible. My dad went out of his way to find a restaurant that had vegan options. From my experience, most non-vegan restaurants that make vegan food are not always that great, but this restaurant blew my mind, and to be honest, my parents too. They were so happy with their entrance, and their mains looked amazing. And personally, the falafels I got have to be the best ones I've ever tried. I don't know how they did it, but my next step is trying to recreate that recipe. But apart from the food being so delicious and unforgettable, the night itself was unforgettable because I got to spend it with the two most important people in my life, and those that have given me and continue to give me so much more than I could ever ask for. It's a moment I will never forget, just like the dessert I got. Happy birthday, oh Claire. Happy birthday to you. All I wish for is for more of these moments with my family. And also to get the recipe of this brownie because I am honestly still dreaming about it. To be honest, that's somehow how I feel sometimes. That the way I am experiencing the world is so far removed from everyone else's experience. But that's not a bad thing. It's actually a good thing. I've come to realize that my way of seeing the world is actually one of my greatest strengths.
No controlling legal authority over this matter.
Stuff it, Taylor.
So, how can you thrive as a misfit? Well, it's all about shifting your perspective. And it's also about finding your community, even if it's small. I've learned that it's better to have a few deep, meaningful connections than a large group of surface level friendships. And during this whole process of trying to open up yourself to the world, you have to remember to be kind to yourself. Because I know this personally, as I used to be my harshest critic. Maybe I still am. Because I constantly pointed out my flaws and failures, and now I have started learning to treat myself with the same compassion I offer to a friend. And another reason why it's important to be your own best friend is because if you don't know how that feels, how are you expecting to find that same feeling when you never truly know what that feels like? You have to start to allow yourself to be different and embrace your unique qualities, because that's how you open the door to innovation, creativity, and genuine connections. It's through our differences that we make a real impact on the world. And society often pressures us to fit into conventional molds. It's this unspoken rule that we need to follow a certain path, behave in specific ways, and to adhere to norms that may not resonate with who we truly are. But the greatest minds didn't fit in, so why wouldn't it be okay for you not to fit into these molds as well?
Mama, rating of the movie. In memory of Bob as well. Bob.
Feeling like a fraud because you don't fit into those molds, it's a very common experience. All of us will at some point experience this, but it's something that many of us carry silently. When you already feel like you don't belong, it's easy for your mind to twist every success into a fluke and every challenge into evidence that you're not good enough. We often have high standards for ourselves, and that often leads to feeling like an imposter. But here's your reminder that those feelings aren't a reflection of your abilities. So you don't have to fix yourself. Instead, recognize these patterns and challenge them, because that's when you will grow and you will find where you belong. And this might not be in the way that you expected. For a long time, I thought belonging meant fitting in and having a large group of friends and being part of a community that accepted me without question. But I've come to see that belonging is more about connection, and connection doesn't have to be conventional. Sometimes belonging is a late night call with my mom and my dad, where they listen without judgment and remind me that I am loved, and that despite us being far apart, I am never alone. And other times, it's a moment of quiet understanding with my dad. Doesn't always say much, but his action speaks volumes. And then other times, it might just be a simple text from my brother or my sister, who might just say a random fact that they discovered that day. But that just shows me that they are always thinking of me. But actually, something else that I found out is that belonging is also within me. It's in the moments when I stop trying to be someone I'm not, when I embrace my quirks, be it my passion for cooking, or my passion for different sports, my passion for traveling, and the place where I also embrace my imperfections, my clumsiness, my hot-headedness, and my unique way of seeing the world. That is where and when I realized that the connection I've been searching for starts with accepting who I am. And that is something that has been a big challenge for me. But something that I've realized is that courage to show up as you are, even when the world around you doesn't seem to understand, and the courage to let go of the need for validation and to trust that being yourself is enough, is something that not many people have, but somehow is something that we all are searching for.
What's the rating?
8.
Just finished packing. You have to leave quite early. I'm happy because this was such a nice week. Also today I got to upload a video. I got to discuss with some people about what I said in the video, and I hope it didn't come out the wrong way, and if it triggered anyone in any way, I'm so sorry. I still hope my message kind of makes sense, but I just want you to know that your struggles, whatever those are valid. You are the best judge of those. Take everything, any advice that serve you, make sure to incorporate them within your life. I hope it still helped in some way to someone, but thank you guys for sticking around. I'm also learning. I'm always happy to hear you guys' perspectives on things, but now I'm tired. I'm gonna go to sleep. I love you guys, all of you. Sleep tight. See you tomorrow.
For so many of us, the fear of rejection keeps us hidden. We hold back parts of ourselves, hoping to avoid the pain of being judged or excluded. But here's the truth I've learned. When we hide who we are, we rob the world of our unique gifts. And we rob ourselves of the chance to find true belonging. Being seen is scary. It's vulnerable. But it's also liberating. Because when you allow yourself to be seen, you give others permission to do the same. And that's where real connection begins. The problem has never been that you have to change who you are, but that you have to change how you see yourself. It's about recognizing that the very thing that makes you stand out are the things that make you extraordinary. You have to be kind to yourself, especially when things don't go perfectly, and celebrating your progress, no matter how small. The journey we call life, it's about learning to love ourselves, not in spite of our differences, but because of them. One thing is clear for me now. Belonging isn't about finding a place that accepts you. It's about creating a life where you accept yourself. Yes, it can be lonely at times. When we stop trying to fit into molds that were never meant for us, we open ourselves for opportunities. So to all misfits out there, you are not alone. You are enough, and the world needs you just as you are.